Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's Sunday Night Live at Material Issues. Can you believe it is episode number 243 of this show? I'm Mark Hershberger of Pop Detective Records. I'm over here in southern New Jersey, just outside of Philadelphia, where the temperature has been balmy. The snow is finally starting to melt. My doggies and I have been enjoying many walks today. Happy day after Valentine's Day, everybody. And it's always good to see my very good friend from sunny Southern California and one of the best dressed Material Issues hosts I've ever seen, David Bash of the International Pop Overthrow Festival. David, how the heck are you tonight?
Well, today is it's a tough day for me. Early this morning, like around 2 a.m, my dad passed away.
Yeah.
It was expected. A week ago, he had a an aortic dissection, which the cardiologists at the hospital said was one of the worst they'd ever seen. They didn't think he'd make it even 24 hours, but he made it for another week. For the most part, he was pretty alert and, smiling occasionally. He did want to get out of the hospital. When he tried, he always tried to communicate that, but he was weak, and the communication wasn't really easy. But I got to say my goodbyes to him. We never told him what was going on, but when we knew it was near the end, I think each of us said our goodbyes at different times, and. He was a remarkable man. And
we had him on Material Issues, and that was quite a fascinating show when he was on.
It was, and he was the second oldest guest we'd ever had at age 90.
Yep, indeed.
Thank you very much, Tim. But yeah, just an absolutely brilliant, remarkable man. I guess the intelligence skipped a generation, but
I was going to say,
I should have had a kid. That would have brought it back, but.
Sorry to your sister and Joel too that it skipped a generation.
Sorry. Appreciate that. But no, I now he'll be back reunited with my mom, who we lost almost 40 years ago. So that'll be a good thing.
Knowing his wry sense of humor, he's probably happy that we're sitting here laughing about everything and whatnot.
Well, I know one thing. He would want me to keep living my life, and when I go, I would want the same from Rena or anybody else who knew me well and liked or loved me. So yeah.
Cheers. Yeah. Nice.
But. Anyway, I don't want to dwell on it because I'm starting to get sad, and that's not what this show is about. Let's.
Hey, and talking about what this show's about, look what I got in the mail today.
I can't. You got it.
Our guest from 2 weeks ago, Jeremy Clyde of Chad and Jeremy, autographed his new album and sent it to me. And he's 84 years old, putting out brand new albums, and that's his new classics 20th century songs, all the wonderful covers that he did. And real nice bifold with a nice little booklet and biography, and the very classy Jeremy Clyde of Chad and Jeremy.
He was pure class.
Pure class.
And we were honored to have him on the show. Talking about IPO, some good news there. It took a while, but we finally got our dates in Stockholm. We couldn't get all the dates we wanted, but we got June 6th and 7th, a Saturday and a Sunday, and we're going to go all day, both days. So we'll basically have as many slots for bands as we did the last couple of years.
Very cool.
So even though it's more concentrated, it'll be fine. So I can't wait to go back, and of course to Nostalgia Palazzo. I mean, I would, if I had money, I'd fly out to Stockholm just to go there. But that's how amazing that record shop is. But, but also Stockholm is a beautiful, beautiful city. And anybody who hasn't been, I highly recommend it. The architecture, the history, the people are great. They all speak English. and so it makes communication easy. And yeah, we really love it. Just one record I want to talk about. Nothing majorly significant except for, well, the history attached to it. It's a late '60s band called Fargo, who had an album on RCA, kind of a bit of a soft pop album, I guess. But the reason I bought this yesterday, and the reason I did, it was, well, when I was brought up in New York, and you can corroborate this if you want, but I never went to any record stores that had PlayStations where
Right.
you could take a demonstration record and play it. I then started to see, shows TV shows based in California, where people were going to record shops and, oh, I really want to hear this record. Here's a copy I can play. It's like, I never heard of that. Well, it's true. In California, almost every record shop had a place to play records. This was a demonstration record from one of the most famous record shops in California in the '60s, Wallach's Music City. I don't know if you can see that.
Yep.
People all over the world had heard about it. So this is the record that if you wanted to hear the Fargo album, you would put on their turntable and play it. And if you wanted to buy one, you didn't buy this one. You bought a sealed copy in the front.
Very cool. Yeah.
So it was only $3.99 too, and I already have a copy of the record. But this is part of my. It's in building a library. This is just something else to expand the parameters a bit. So
that's very good.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Anyway, I'm bending down here because I want to get another record, and that record is one that pertains to our guest. As I've said on Facebook and other places, she's best known for having a top 20 hit in early 1972 called "Don't Say You Don't Remember," which I'll never say that because I do remember. I remember the song coming out. I remember loving it immediately and hearing it for definitely about a month in that year. But she's done a lot more than that. She's been a voiceover actress. She's acted on Broadway, so she's a theater actress. She wrote a song for a Disney, a long-running Disney program. She's written scores for stage musicals. She's done lots and lots of stuff, and she's still doing it. This is the album that has the hit "Don't Say You Don't Remember" on it. It's called "I'll Make You Music," and it's on the Scepter label, which was a label that also had Dionne Warwick and B.J. Thomas, for example. And we have to ask our guests about this cover. It's something I actually hadn't noticed until a few days ago. This is an interesting, provocative cover. And I really have to find out how this photo came about. Anyway, if you don't have a turntable, but you want to hear her music, this is the CD to get. It's on Collectibles. It came out in 1997. Its title is the title of her hit, but it has the whole album on it, plus a couple of bonus tracks. So, there are other compilations out where songs have been re-recorded, but if you want the originals, and I would recommend it. Her album's very charming. It's got some really cool ballads and up-tempo on it, and she's got a great voice, and it's a fun early 70s album. But anyway, enough of that. Without further ado, would you please give a huge Material Issues welcome to Beverly Bremers.
There
Hello.
she is.
Hi, everybody. Good to see you, Mark and David. It's my
Great
pleasure.
to see you. I actually met you, Beverly. You won't remember, of course, but probably around 1996, 97, you did a guest appearance at a swap meet in Buena Park, California.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you remember that? Wow. Oh, did you freeze?
I remember the swap.
Is she frozen for you too?
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh boy.
Come on, Beverly. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but you just froze a little bit with the internet.
More than a little bit, and which is odd because when we spoke with her before the show, there was not even one glitch. Maybe Beverly, if you can, maybe
go back out.
Go out and come. Oh, now you're back.
Can you hear me? I guess not.
We missed pretty much your whole response to me talking about Buena Park, and your connection's getting fuzzy now.
There you are. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
So when he asked you about Buena Park, that's when the internet.
I remember. Well, it was kind of a madhouse there. There were people all over the place, and talking to different people. So yeah, that was an interesting experience. Seeing all the record collectors. You guys are a rare breed.
Yeah, the world is very lucky for that. Seeing and unfortunately smelling them. I'm one who does I do keep good hygiene, but some of the other collectors not so much.
Oh yeah. Well, I had a friend who was a collector, and he would go wherever, and he would put on the headlamp.
Oh yeah.
At night and look. He wrote a few books. Also, his name was Jay Warner, and wrote a couple books about various recording acts and old records and stuff. So he was a character.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I've met a lot of characters. I just wanted to mention that collectibles is now a collectible. They're charging tons of money for it because the license was taken away or something.
Oh,
so you can get my album on my website.
And
I have that available on my website. And
you have this available on your website?
I don't have that. I have like one, which I'm probably not going to sell.
Right.
But it's my own packaging of it.
Oh.
But it's my own release of it. So I do have that, as well as several other CDs. So just so you know, there's also a guy on eBay that's selling 2 volumes of probably everything that I've ever recorded, including demos.
Wow. I'm gonna have to find that guy.
It's the complete Beverly Bremers, volume 1 and 2. So he's got that on eBay. So my recordings are available. So just so you know.
Well, that's good to know.
Right at the bottom, BeverlyBremers.com. Yep, Beverly.
Yeah, you don't want to pay $80 on eBay for the.
Well, fortunately, I bought it when it came out. It was probably about $10, so I was lucky there.
Yeah.
Speaking of covers, this is the cover of your album. I'll Make You Music.
Well, that's only half the cover. You have to open it.
All right, so we're gonna get kind of a centerfold here. There we go.
Yeah. So just like the sheet music that you're showing on the screen now, that's actually the album. So
now, how did this cover come about? Because if you look at it, it's fairly provocative.
It was just an accidental shot.
I
had a photo shoot, and you know how photographers use strobe lights, so they can just go, at that time in my life, I loved having my picture taken. So I would just do different poses and stuff. And I had several outfits. That outfit was what I wore in Hair, which I was in at the time on Broadway. So that was that shirt was actually what I wore every night. But what happened was I was just posing or whatever. And then I just spontaneously jumped up and he got the shot. It wasn't planned. We probably would have never been able to recreate it. It was just one of those accidental shots. And we had already had another shot in mind with a different outfit and everything. So that was just like an extra. But when the record company saw it, they were like, oh yeah, we're using this one. Yeah.
And you were good with it?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's kind of my personality anyway, which is, I think, why I jumped up. The blouse just happened to jump up with me.
Mostly.
Yeah. But, as I said, didn't show anything. So as far as I was concerned, sure, okay. And then go, let's do full length. Let's fold it out. So there's a fold and everything. So
how old were you here in this photo?
21.
21. Yeah. So you were an adult, and they weren't taking advantage of somebody, a minor.
Oh yeah. If I'd been younger, it might have been a little different.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's a great photo. We were just,
as I say, it was just an accident.
Well, let's rewind a bit. Where did you grow up? Where were you a youngster? Oh, I think you froze again.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, you might have froze again, Beverly. We'll wait till you get back, or go out and come back in again.
Oh, okay. I was going to say I'll keep talking if you can hear me.
Now we can.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was born in Chicago, and then when we were 3, we moved to St. Louis. So I lived in St. Louis till I was 10, and then we moved to a suburb of New York, right along the Hudson. And so that was basically.
Wait, which suburb? Because I grew up in Poughkeepsie.
Oh, no, I wasn't that far up. I was in Dobbs Ferry.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. So the commuter train ran parallel to the Hudson. So there were a lot of professionals, of course, who lived in the surrounding area anyway. So I just, I'd always was more interested in acting. I went to dramatic, took a lot of classes from the time I was 8, even when I was in St. Louis, and went to the Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York when I was 14. And around that time, I just noodled around. What the big breakthrough in my singing career, interestingly enough, was a local Kiwanis Club talent show they had at my school. And I had written a comedy sketch. I thought it was hilarious, and I was entering that. And my very good friend was a good dancer, and I wanted her to enter, but she said, I'm not going to do it unless you do something by yourself. Otherwise, so it was sort of on a dare. So I went home, and my mother was a writer, and she was at the time writing some sketch with parody lyrics to a song called Hey, Look Me Over.
Oh, okay.
I saw the sheet music sitting there, and I was like, oh, I know that song. So I did the talent show singing Hey, Look Me Over. Unbeknownst to anybody, including my parents, I had this huge voice. I was 12, okay? Hey, look me over. And all of a sudden, everybody was like, what? And much to my surprise, also, my sketch did not win, but I did. That was back in the day when you could still win, and they didn't just give awards to everybody.
Right.
Participation awards, to everybody.
No, just they actually had first place. So once that happened, I did an all-county show. And you're probably, David, I guess, will remember the Ted Mack Amateur Hour.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Ted Mack actually lived in Westchester County.
Oh.
But anyway, one of his scouts saw me in the all-county. And so on my 13th birthday, I was on Ted Mack Amateur Hour. So that sort of started it. And then somehow or other, I don't even remember the circumstances. There were several people who lived in the area. And one guy said, I know somebody that has a record company. So I made my first record when I was 14. That was released on a small label called Pickwick, which was known for many years for doing like sound-alike musics. But this guy, Terry Phillips, was a songwriter, singer. And he wrote a song for me and produced it and whatever. And so I did that. And I also sang at Palisades Amusement Park, like all the time.
Where a dime buys the most.
So I met all the DJs, and I was singing to other people's records most of the time, which was pretty funny. But that gave me my experience. And then I signed it with RCA, and I did several records with them. So I had all this recording career going, and then on weekends, I would do local mini American Bandstand type shows around the country. My father was in advertising. He loved it. So he managed me, and, he went with me, and so I got to perform with just all kinds of people. And it was great. And in the meantime, I was doing commercials and a few local plays and stuff like that. And so, it was all gearing up to what would become my career, which I hadn't, the acting had been the main thing in my mind initially, but of course singing is acting. So there's really no difference. Singing is more complex, actually, because you have notes and rhythm. So then eventually what happened was I made a deal with my parents that, and rather than go to college, because the guy at NYU, when I auditioned, said, "What are you doing here? You have this great resume." And I'm like, "Tell my parents this." So I made a deal with them, and I said, "Give me a year, and if I haven't, made a dent, then, I'll go to college." And 6 months later, I was on Broadway in Hair.
Wow.
I just, the show was perfect for me in every way. And so I did that. And then I went on to, in the original cast of another show called The Me Nobody Knows, which unfortunately wasn't publicized enough, but it did run off Broadway, then moved to Broadway for a year. It was nominated for 6 Tony Awards. And you may know, maybe you interviewed one of the other cast members, Irene Cara.
No, we haven't.
Well, you'll never will now, because unfortunately she's passed.
Right.
Yeah. But she was 12 years old. Oh, and actually, I think she was 11. And it was her second Broadway show already. She was a veteran, very talented girl. A lot of very talented kids. We were all kids in this show. Wonderful score. If you ever run across it, The Me Nobody Knows, excellent score. And people keep talking about reviving it. And maybe sometime they will. I don't know. And then
what's the difference? Besides location, of course, what's the difference between Broadway and off Broadway? I don't think I've ever known.
Exactly what it says. Broadway is literally off the street. Broadway, as far as, the Times Square area, that's Broadway. Off Broadway is like the East and West Village, or other locations that are not close to the Times Square area. So, but
generally smaller theaters.
Smaller.
So status-wise, it's also not Broadway.
Well, yeah, it's not Broadway, but it's still New York City, and it's still New York City theater districts, and
very reputable. Yeah, to be in an off-Broadway show is very, very good. We were lucky in that we were a huge hit off-Broadway, and then there was an off-Broadway strike. And what do we do? What do we do? And the producers decided, let's move the show to Broadway, because we didn't get any bad reviews. So, it was great. And, it was, I loved the theater. Theater's great. It's kind of a grueling life, because you do 8 shows a week. And for several days you do 2. And so it can become a lot. But you get used to it. And so I did all that. And then in the meantime, while I was in The Me Nobody Knows, I was doing the cast album. They always record cast albums when everybody's exhausted. Instead of waiting a couple of weeks, they do it on the first day off that you've had. But anyway, there was a guy there, hippie guy, in the control room, and on the break I went over to him. He was very cute, and like, "Who are you?" And he laughed that he was the publisher of the music. So long story short, I literally bumped into him on Broadway like a week later, and under his arm he had the test pressing of the album, and he said, "You want to hear it?" I said, "Of course I want to hear it." So I went to his office, and we talked and whatever, and he ended up asking me out to dinner, and that was it. He I'm still married to him.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's
But
Day.
he also, in the meantime, he said, you should be recording again. Let me talk to some of my writers. Let's get something going. So he talked to Helen Miller and Estelle Levitt, who were at Metro Media Music, where he was, and they gave me Don't Say You Don't Remember. And David and I, my husband, pooled our money and did what they used to do back then, which was called it was a master recording, but you would only pay the musicians and the studio demo rates. So it was cheaper. And the plan is that if you sell it, this master to the recording company, then you pay everybody, their main rate. So that's what we did. We shopped around, and Scepter Records loved it. And there you go. Now, what's weird about this record is it was happening all while I was doing The Me Nobody Knows. And it was a hit in different areas at different times. So this was the end of 71. Okay, I don't know if you remember this, but I don't remember the exact month, but it was at the end of 1971. And it sort of run its course. We were happy. It made the Hot 100. Okay, good first effort. We recorded and released a second record. And the week that we did that, some DJ in San Jose started playing it, and the record took off. Everybody suddenly went crazy over it.
That's how it happened back then. It was wonderful.
It was weird. So they pulled the new record, and the funny thing is they never did release it again. I always wondered. I should have asked why they never did. But anyway, they re-released it, and in some areas like Buffalo, it was a hit twice. This record was on the charts for 9 months.
Wow.
Yeah, because of the different cities.
It was just the weirdest thing. And radio people will still say to me, like, oh my, this record, how weird is that? And
my station was WABC in New York. And
ABC was one of the last stations.
That's why I call it 1972, because they were playing it. They were playing it in February and March.
Right. Well, what people don't know is the two coasts, LA and New York, they wait until it's a hit everywhere else. And then they start playing it. And then they play it like every half hour till you're sick of it. But I knew I had a hit finally when I heard it on WABC. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I got a hit now because I'm hearing it to death. So that's what happened. But because it didn't take off at the same time, I kept doing the Broadway shows. I never toured. I didn't do anything like that. Finally, at one point, Dick Clark kept bugging me to do American Bandstand. So finally I said, well, okay, but I got to leave the show for a few days. So if you can get me another show, I'll do it. That was how crazy it was back then. And so I did the dating game.
Oh, I saw the YouTube video where you sang in the beginning of the dating game.
It was before I married my husband. So it was legit, but I never went out on the date. And it was the first time that show, we said we'd like to sing a little bit of Don't Say It Remember on it. So we did. It was the first time they'd ever done that. So it took them a really long time to get the camera shots because they just weren't used to filming something like that. But that's what I did. I did American Bandstand. Dick Clark was a doll. Had a great time doing that. And I kind of, after that trip, decided I should live in California. So shortly after that, I got married that year. And then shortly after that, all the Broadway shows were closing. It was kind of I was in the last performance of Hair on Broadway. Quite an experience, which I wish they could have filmed, but they didn't. A lot of very talented people came and went in that show, that's for sure. Not only on Broadway, but of course, internationally. So I said to my husband, well, let's move to California. So we did. And shortly after that, I got a phone call from the director of the Rocky Horror Show that was playing at the Roxy with Tim Curry. And they said, we'd like you to be in the show. The actress playing Janet is leaving. And I had just seen the show. So I was like, okay. So Tim Curry left at that point to go shoot the movie. But a very good friend of mine named Paul Jabara, who I'd already done Hair with, he was in the original cast of Hair, he had taken over the role. So it was a really easy transition. I went in and did that show for quite a long time at the Roxy. So that was a really fun experience. And along with that, as you mentioned, I've done some songwriting. And I've always done voiceovers. I started doing voiceovers when I was 15, doing all of that, and some plays here and there. Of course, Mousercise was a really fun experience. Kind of a series of events that led me to the publisher at Disney, and he said, "We have this exercise album coming out, and we need a theme song." Okay. And I thought about it, and then he actually called and said, "Do you have it yet?" And I was like, "Oh, I thought you asked other people." No, I just wanted you to write it. Oh, okay. So that night I banged out a couple versions of it. I drove over to the Disney lot and left it with the guard because it was like 2:00 in the morning. By the time I was finished, I just did a little piano voice demo and called the next day, and it was like, "Yeah, we love the second version. We want to do it." So there was Mousercise. Little did I know, not only was it, it started on a record and then cassette and then CD, but in the meantime, it went on the Disney Channel as a show, and it was on there for 12 years.
Wow.
It was the theme song of the Mousercise show besides the recording. So eventually the recording went platinum. And, so I have the gold record for Don't Say You Don't Remember, and I have the platinum record for Mousercise, a song that, no one will ever cover.
Yeah, no, you're going to go down in history as being the woman that wrote and sang Mousercise.
Well, that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that'll be on my tombstone. She wrote Mousercise.
You have to put quotes on your tombstone that says Mousercise.
They'll also put on your tombstone, you said, "California is the place I ought to be." So you loaded up the truck and you moved, Beverly.
Yes. Yes.
I love the whole Mousercise side of thing. My youngest daughter works for Disney in Orlando. So I was mentioning, she has no idea of the history of Mousercise, so she had to look into it, which was very cool.
Yeah. But it was that was a fun, kind of crazy experience. And so, I wrote up some other specialty material for Disney after that they did at various parks, mainly Disneyland. And I think maybe they might have done it in Orlando. I don't know. I don't remember. But I've been doing all sorts of things. And then I was in a show called Menopause the Musical that's been pretty much all over the world. It's a fun show that's all parody lyrics to well-known songs from the 60s and 70s.
Oh.
And, I ran in LA for a year. So more than a year. I was in it for a year. But it's all over. I think it's still in Las Vegas at the Hilton.
Oh, wow.
And a very funny show. It's spoof. It's basically about what happens as you age. It's not specifically about women, even though, of course, obviously the title it hints at that, but really men enjoy it too. So it's so I did that. I'm doing all sorts of things. I'm now in Atlanta.
Oh.
I moved here about 6 years ago, just before the pandemic, which actually turned out the best decision because my daughter had moved here and had a baby. Well, he was a toddler, when we moved here. And it worked out that I could help take care of him, during the pandemic. So it was great. My feeling was I had one daughter and one grandson. I wanted to be near them. And I do so much online because I do teach singing and voiceover. And voiceovers is all from home studios and everything. So I figured, I can live anywhere. And if I do concerts, which I do once in a while, there again, I just get on a plane and go, So that's what we did. And I'm here in Atlanta, and Atlanta has now become the new Hollywood. So I've started to do some more acting, which I did when I was in LA too. I was in a variety of TV shows, mainly TV movies. And I just did one. Well, I can't talk about it much, but because it's not out yet, but it's a Netflix movie that that Adam Sandler is the producer and star of.
Oh,
and
nice.
he came over to me several times and told me I was hilarious.
Oh,
So
that's wonderful.
I'll take that.
I was like, okay, all right. So yeah, so I enjoy everything in the arts. It's something that I love doing. I'm hoping if I can find the time to write a few more songs and do another CD. The CDs that I have out now, some are older ones like my album, but then I also have one of my originals. So I have a little bit of everything. And and I did also write 5 musicals because I love the theater so much. The main one is a Christmas musical. It's an expanded version of the short story Gift of the Magi by O. Henry.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. And so I got a publisher for that. And so every year there are theater groups that perform Gift of the Magi, the musical. So, I have that going on too. So a little bit of everything. I like to stay busy.
We can see, yeah. You've had a remarkable career, I have to say.
So I have a lot of fun. And I'm just now really gearing up to get more active with social media. It is time consuming. So it's like, okay, I gotta try to do some reels or something on Insta and TikTok, which I haven't done yet. But I've got a couple of ideas now that I think maybe I'll present shortly.
Can I interject and say that you could actually do a parody of don't say you don't remember. You could act much older than you are and say, I've got to say I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, I do say that often anyway. People ask me, when did you do that? And I'm like, I don't remember.
I gotta say,
don't we all?
Yeah, that's an idea. Do a parody lyric for that. Yeah, absolutely.
When you were 14, Beverly, and you had your first single out, physical single on Pickwick, what were you that cool that you could walk around with your friends and just have your single in your hand and be like, yeah, this is me? Or did you not really understand how cool it was to have a 45? I mean,
I understood and was proud of it and everything, but I was very active in my school and had, a big group of friends and whatever. And no, it was never a big deal. Everybody, I became like the town star, but I didn't walk around boasting about it or anything.
No, it's just kind of cool to be that young and you've got a physical 45 that this is stuff like David and I say, you see it in the record shops. These are people that are on the radio. You don't know these people. These are people that are, what you're buying from Stat. And here you are, 15, with your 45.
Beverly, what did it feel like the first time you heard one of your songs on the radio?
I was in a clothing store. Wow. And I heard it and I was just smiling ear to ear and I was sort of looking at people like, that's me. Nobody had any idea what I was talking about. Like, but it was exciting because it seems like it's another person. Suddenly it's not you, it's that person. Yeah. So it's an interesting way of looking at it. It's almost an out of body experience. One little side note about my first record, it was called We Got Trouble. Have you heard of Northern Soul?
Sure.
Well,
5 tons of compilations of Northern Soul.
All right. Well, I'm a big Northern Soul no, I wouldn't say icon, but they're into me.
Really?
I didn't find this out until sometime in the mid 70s. Somebody emailed me, and I used to go by the name Beverly Ann because I thought my last name was too difficult, because even when I spelled it with two E's, people still said Bremer and whatever. And I was just like, however you say it, just play the record. I don't really care. But at the time, we decided, okay, Beverly Ann would be the name. And this guy wrote me and he said, you know, I listened to Don't Say I Don't Remember and Get Smart, which was the B-side, and your RCA, you know, I'm coming home. And I had another one called You've Got Your Mind on Other Things. They go, you sound just like Beverly Ann. Are you the same person?
Oh, wow.
And I was like, well, you have really good ears. And I said, yes. And he said, because you're very big with Northern Soul. And I was like, what the heck is Northern Soul? So I Googled it and found out, unbeknownst to me, that for quite a few years, the B-side of Don't Say I Don't Remember and my records with RCA, and in some cases, We Got Trouble, were these big hits in Europe with these Northern Soul aficionados, I suppose you would call them. They had their own magazine, their own radio station. They would have events, big dance events and whatever. And, you know, I didn't know anything about it all that time. And then I found out they've actually released CDs, Northern Soul CDs that I'm on.
Let me know which one. Let me know which ones, because I may have them. I'd love to hear it surrounded by some of the other Northern Soul stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the We Got Trouble was more recent. I actually told them about it because it was on Pickwick. They mainly knew about the RCA ones. I didn't even know, but RCA had actually released themselves those recordings to them. Didn't tell me. Didn't say any money for it either. But they had a convention in LA a number of years ago that I went to, and they had all of us there signing. I was signing, like I had one called He's Coming Home. It was going for $50 a pop.
Wow.
You know? And then people were having me sign posters, sweatshirts, chests. I think I signed one guy's chest. It was like, okay.
Yeah, why not, right?
Hey, okay, it's probably going to wash off, but all right. So that was kind of interesting to me, that the idea was, and when I happened to write the main guy who had started it, and I was planning a trip with my daughter to Europe, and I was going to London, and so I wrote him and I said, you know, it's me, and would you like to meet? And he flipped out. He goes, yes. So I ended up meeting up with him, and they took me out to dinner and, you know, stuff like that in London. So the story is that he and another guy came to New York, I guess in the early 70s somewhere, and found all these records that they thought were soulful or had a great beat, but they didn't want the hits. They wanted the B-sides.
Sure.
Yeah, or songs that were never hits. Like there'll be a Supremes record that was never a hit. They'll have that, you know, they'll have things like that. So they had the B-side, a song called Get Smart. It's the B-side of Don't Say Don't Remember. That's a very popular one with them. And they know me as Beverly Bremers for that. But then they also have You've Got Your Mind on Other Things and He's Coming Home on RCA. And I guess maybe the B-sides of those too. But that's, you know, it was a little fun perk. You know, this Northern Soul thing was like a kind of a secret cult.
Yeah. Oh my! I have a book on Northern Soul, and it's amazing. It became such a culture. The way people are carrying talc around, dressing in shorts. Yeah, I mean, in Northern England and all the clubs when they were playing this stuff, and DJs used to compete with each other, like who has the rarest record.
Well, yeah, one of my records, I believe, is in that book, and it's worth quite a lot of money. So if you ever see it on eBay, I've seen it a couple of times.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm in there.
Yeah. Oh wow. I need it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
At the end of then this is really amazing. At the end of this book, Kev Roberts, the author,
That's Ken.
he has a bunch of lists of, he likes them, as do I, but top 10, whatever. One of them was top 10 Northern Soul records that actually didn't exist. The ones that DJs bragged about, but never played because they didn't happen. It was just part of the competition.
That's
crazy, right?
Yeah.
And
But,
speaking of extinction things, Beverly, I do have a picture here that I saw online. I wanted to ask you about this 45. I'll pop it up right here. I just the music on Brute, which I don't know where Brute Productions was that part of Pickwick or
No, that was
just Scepter on here.
Oh, Scepter Records. That's right.
Well, no, it was a cooperative effort. Brute was owned by Fabergé. It's
oh wow.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Perfume cologne.
Yeah.
What they did was they came out with a fragrance called Music.
Oh.
And they wanted to do a cross promotion.
Love to have a bottle of that.
So they had me put on a little music. It was like so. And another song, so one was put on a little music, and the other was I just need some music. And it was basically a promotional one. They would give them away at retail stores, in the perfume department, trying to sell it. So, but, they had to license it from Scepter. So, we did that. And they just took one of the pictures. That's one of the pictures of the same photo session as my album. If you notice, I'm wearing the same outfit.
Is it? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, cool. Okay. We were looking at that picture saying the barefoot, stars on the pants. Very
right. That was same one.
Very flower child. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was in hair at the time.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so we had all those pictures in various outfits and poses, of course, from that. So yeah, that was a promotional record, cool. Not for sale. But the people who have it have been selling it on eBay. You go on eBay, there's like lots of stuff you can get.
That's great.
Yeah.
Beverly, do you mind if I play the hit for people who are watching who don't know it?
I'd love to, of course.
Well, I could hear this song, as many times as time in the day. All right, so we've got Beverly Bremer's biggest hit, "Don't Stay You Don't Remember," 1971/1972 on Scepter Records, here on Material Issues. I I have to say something, and you've probably heard this before because oops, let me stop this. I'm sorry. Oh, Mark did good. You've probably heard this before, but when I first heard "Don't Say You Don't Remember," I thought it was Donny Osmond. You've heard that.
I have.
At that time, I was very fascinated. I'd heard about, I hadn't reached puberty yet. I was still 12, yeah, or 13 at that point. And I followed it kind of through Donny Osmond, listening to his voice change. And Don't Say You Don't Remember seems to be in the same range as his voice was when it was probably about 2/3 changed. And you've had other people tell you the same thing?
I have, yeah, I have. And interestingly enough, Marie Osmond eventually recorded it.
Oh, well, that makes sense, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm sure people said it to him. You didn't do this? And who knows? You never know whether to be insulted or flattered, but it was like, whatever. We purposely double voiced the voice. The whole idea was to make it sound like a 60s girl group. That was our concept. So some people even think it was the 60s. In fact, it's shown up on 60s compilation.
Sure.
They've never checked the date or whatever. So it was, I heard Donny Osmond. What can I say? I don't.
Oh, it just happens.
It's no insult. I mean, yeah. Even though as a boy I couldn't admit to loving Donny Osmond, I did. So it was a compliment.
Yeah, I doubt he would have sung it the same way though. But.
That could be true, but a lot of it's also the arrangement of the horns and the keyboards and things.
Well, you might be interested to know who the arranger was. A guy named Charlie Colello.
Oh yeah,
who was he actually became one of the Four Seasons.
Yeah.
He not only arranged many of their records, but later on after this, he became one of them. He was a Jersey boy.
Yeah.
He literally was, so Charlie was very talented. He's still around. I don't know if he's working anymore, but he's a very talented arranger. So he did that. And then later on, I did some records for Columbia, which /CBS after Scepter bit the dust. And he arranged one of my recordings there called What I Did for Love, which was from Chorus Line.
Right.
So I had that out on CBS as well as a couple of others that I did with Jimmy Bowen, who you may know as a country icon producer. So I worked with I worked with a Motown producer too. They had me doing all sorts of different things. Because my second record, We're Free, went country besides pop. It would have been bigger, but it was banned on a lot of radio stations. They thought it was too much free love, talking about living together without being married. We didn't think anything of it. In fact, the guys who wrote it wrote tie a ribbon around the old oak tree.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They, none of us, it never dawned on us that somebody.
No pun intended.
No pun intended, yes. It never occurred to us that anybody would be offended. And it was huge in the South. Okay. The Bible Belt was huge in Canada, but the two coasts. So you never heard it in New York or LA for some crazy reason. So it still was top 40, but it would have done even better if they hadn't banned it. And it's kind of ridiculous because, a year or two later, Elton John came out with The Bitches Back and all this other stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Why did you ban this? It was kind of crazy. But
at least Casey Kasem at least you heard it on American Top 40.
Oh, yeah. Well, he took that over from Dick Clark, and the information he gives on there is all from my interview with Dick Clark. He just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was doing American Bandstand was very interesting in that he was the only host. I did a bunch of talk shows during that time, Tonight Show, Merv Griffin, David Frost, Mike Douglas. I did them all. But American Bandstand, he would have like a little party in the green room before the show with wine and cheese. So you would meet not only the other performers on the show, but Dick, and he would come, and his wife would be there. And I think when I was there, he had a little girl, and so you got to know him before you did the show. And they also loosened you up a little bit because you had a little wine, so you were like, "Yeah, Dick, how you doing, Dick?" So, but he's the only host that I've ever heard of that met everybody prior to the taping of the show. So that was very nice. He was very warm, giving, friendly, special guy.
Now, so, is your performance from Bandstand available anywhere, or is that part of the lost years? Because I know they have lost years of
part of the lost years.
Yeah, see, that's
all the talk shows that I did, with the exception of 2 Mike Douglas ones, because I did Mike Douglas like 4 times. I loved Mike Douglas. He was also great. They're all gone. Yeah. At the time, what were they thinking? They didn't know about reruns, so they would tape over the old tape to save money.
Yeah.
So anybody who was on any of those shows during the period, I don't know, it was like 70 to 73 or 74, something like that, they don't exist.
Yeah.
It's tragic, really.
The only way you could be lucky is if somehow somebody, a TV station might have, had on a beta or whatever the tape format at the time, and somehow, luckily it's saved. But yeah, there's about a 4-year period there where all the Bandstand shows are just gone. They were recorded over and they're just gone.
Ridiculous. Yeah, I even wrote the other group that was on with me, Malo.
Suavecito, yeah.
Yeah, and I asked, if they had it, and they were like, "No, we don't have it." So I have it on eBay. You know how you can ask for them to search stuff? That's one of my searches. I'm hoping that maybe somebody recorded it off the air.
That's all we can hope for. We had a good friend of ours, Frank Sessage, of the band Blue Ash. Blue Ash was a Youngstown band, and they were on Raider Record in 1974. And where you can give it, I give it an 88. You can dance to it, blah blah blah. And that's the only time they appeared on Bandstand was their name on Raider Record. But that's gone. That's part of the gone thing. And he's been searching for 50 years to try to find the tape of that. It just
I'm always I'm always hopeful. But the Dick Clark production company, they had even interviewed me. It wasn't Dick Clark, it was someone else there I was in touch with them quite a few years after, and they looked for me. They searched, and they said, no, it is just gone. I have been successful in the past. There was a TV show that I did that as acting, and I didn't have it, and I put it on eBay, and somebody on VHS had recorded it, and I bought it right away. And then the production company pulled it because, of course, it was a copyright infringement. But I did get a copy of it. It wasn't great. It was a very grainy copy. But so I keep thinking maybe somebody did that with either.
You don't know. It could.
No, it's certainly possible. That happens all the time.
Yeah. So I do all those searches. eBay's great that way. I just have all those searches, and they'll send me stuff that's really not related. But but my album. I mean, you can get my album in any form on eBay if you want the record. But as I said, by the way, that picture you were showing, the best of that's the CD that I have on my
that's one of my favorite pictures of you. It's absolutely gorgeous.
That was a few years after Don't Say I Don't Remember. But that's
beautiful.
Thank you. So that's my album and some extras. I think I have the Northern Soul ones on there also.
Oh, wow.
So they're all on my website.
We're gonna have to check. I'm gonna have to check that out. But speaking of Northern Soul, I wanted to play "Get Smart Girl," if that's okay.
Oh, sure.
Also on the album, B-side of "Don't Say You Don't Remember," definitely showing another side of Beverly Bremers. So here we go with "Get Smart Girl" on Material Issues. Yeah, I mean that has Northern Soul written all over it.
Oh, man. How can you not be happy listening to music like that? I mean,
Pretty
geez,
happy,
it's
especially those crazy horn lines.
I was going to ask about those. Well,
That's Charlie Colello. You know.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
man. That's what year was that? What year was that track? Do you remember?
It was the same.
72, I guess. 71, 72. Yeah.
Same.
I mean, that's right. That's right in that. I mean, that wheel,
same,
that sound, is right.
Yeah, it was the same session as.
Yeah.
Well, no, it wasn't actually. We did it after we recorded "Don't Say Don't Remember." We went back in, but it was around the same period of time, a couple of months after I recorded "Don't Say Don't Remember," because I'm really a rock singer, but that and that's kind of what I did on Broadway, but that's recording wise because of "Don't Say Don't Remember." I became a little bit more easy listening, although I did big ballads too.
Yeah. Well, the album is chock full of all that sound. So every side of you.
Yeah. I like to do a little bit of everything, which confuses people sometimes. But
yeah.
Now, Beverly, what did you say? Do you still go out these days and sing live and part of any like package deals? I could see you showing up on a cruise ship with 3 or 4.
Yeah, I would love to. I haven't yet been able to make the right contacts to do that.
Yeah.
There is an oldies show that I did several times. That was in Jackson, Mississippi. Mississippi, was it? Yeah. And it was done by the radio owner, and he would have all these different acts on. So I've worked with many of these oldies acts because we'd each do like 5 songs each.
Right,
and then I usually end up doing duets with various people. And it was great. So, I've been doing those oldies concerts. Unfortunately, once the pandemic hit, that's stopped it for a while. And then he passed away, and his son didn't want to continue doing it, which was too bad because it was a blast. And the audiences were great. And they did meet and greet. You'd sign autographs and take selfies and do all sorts of stuff like that. So I got to work with a lot of really fun people. So I'm looking, I love performing live.
It sounds to me you need to go to Northern England and be touring around the northern soul shows. Yeah.
You know what? I should probably. They don't really pay you though. See.
Well, yeah. I mean, but
that's the problem.
Yeah.
When I saw Ken Roberts, I believe I asked him, like, oh, hey, do you have any concerts? And he's like, no. And you just sort of come and sing a cappella. And it's like, well, I can't make the trip to Europe without some sort of compensation, So, yeah, unfortunately, no one's ever put together that. You would think that they would try to do like an oldies touring company or something like that, because
that old, Beverly. I'm not calling you oldies here, but we are going back to the early 70s, and part of why David and I love to do this Material Issues is to archive the stories of so many people and artists and groups and bands that we love from the 60s and 70s, because time is taking its toll on a lot of us, and many of us are not around, or many of those are not around, and we've lost, I don't know, in the 5 years we've done this, 243 episodes, I think we've lost six or seven people have been on our show, and it's before time runs out, it'd be nice for people to get out and play and be heard and seen, and it's
and then not everybody can do it either, because there are some people that have health issues.
Sure.
Yeah.
Present them with well, I must say, I was thinking of the Turtles until recently. They kept doing up until, well, one of them had to drop out, but they did the Happy Together tour.
Yeah.
And the one guy, I think it was Mark Bowman, he would come out in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Sing from the chair, and he was still hilarious. And but there were a lot of artists on there that you know, I think Chuck Negron, who recently passed,
Yep.
he had to have oxygen backstage. He would take oxygen and then he would come on stage, sing like a star, and then go back with the oxygen. And so, unfortunately, there are some people, once they hit certainly 70 years old, but even some younger, there's health issues. So, you know, I feel fortunate that I'm in good health, knock on wood. So, you know, I want to get out there and do it. And there are some other artists there too that you know, it's a great privilege for anybody to see the artists, even if they can't hit all the notes. You know, it's still good to see them.
Absolutely.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah.
And you're so full of energy that, yeah, we need to get that out there for sure.
Yeah. Well, if you know anybody booking any concerts or whatever, you know,
you know, every now and then I come across people like that. So believe me, if I do, I will. You'll be the first to know.
Well, thank you. Yeah, you have all my info, and anybody listening, hey.
And BeverlyBremers.com is going across the bottom of the screen. Anything you want to know about Beverly, picking up some CDs. I believe you'll sign some CDs through the mail too, on your website.
I have pictures too.
And pictures, everything's out there. So yeah, please check it out, BeverlyBremers.com. And don't say you don't remember. I just had to get that in.
Beverly, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you. I had a blast.
Yes. I mean, when I was listening, back in 1972, when I was hearing Don't Say You Don't Remember, I never would have conceived of something like this. So thank you thank you for adding just another wonderful chapter to my life. I'm really grateful.
Well, it's my pleasure. It was great meeting both of you. And it was fun. It's always fun talking about the old days. Why not?
Why not?
Best wishes to you, and we sincerely do hope you record some new music in the near future. Do some swinging Northern soul, and let's have a resurgence.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Beverly. Have a great rest of your holiday weekend, Valentine's with your husband. All these many years, and we appreciate you being on Material Issues. Have a great night.
Absolutely. Take care, Beverly.
My pleasure. Take care.
Bye-bye. Oh, that was fun, and I learned a lot. I mean, she's quite the Renaissance woman, and also, in preparing for the show, I pulled out the album and heard, all these different tracks. Yeah. She didn't need us. No, that's true. Well, nobody needs us. Yeah. We're like the AC outlet for somebody to plug into.
Yeah, it really was. She's one of those artists where, as we talked, I was like, what's that song again? And then when I heard it, I remembered the song. But then you really don't know the breadth of everything else she did after that song.
No,
and, just amazing body of work, and she's still going strong. So
still full of energy. She could do it. She can do it all now.
Very nice. Yeah, loved it. Very, very good. Very good, my friend. But that was a lot of fun. And another Sunday Night Live on Material Issues. That was 243 episodes. And I always say, if you haven't subscribed or you haven't told people about it, materialissues.com. It's rolling across the bottom. Check it out there. You can check out all 243 episodes in the archives. It's on YouTube. It's under the live tab. You'll see them all. We just had tons of great guests, including Beverly Bremers tonight.
Absolutely.
And we got stuff coming up in the near future.
We do have stuff coming up next week. And I'll just preface this by saying a few days ago, Thursday night, I was at a Grammy Museum event. Fortunately, living out here, it's not too hard to get to. And it was an event celebrating the new release of this box set called the Beach Boys' We Gotta Groove, the Brother Studio Years. And on it, you've got the entire Beach Boys Love You album, which is really adored by so many Beach Boys fans. I mean, there's some people who really don't get what it was about, but those who do, they just find it so charming, endearing. And yeah, it was part of the Brian's Back campaign. And he wrote or co-wrote just about everything on here. So the box set contains that. It also contains tracks from what would have been their follow-up album called Adult Child. The label didn't like it. It was definitely something that was kind of, in a way, a 180 for the Beach Boys, sort of a Frank Sinatra type album, doing those kind of ballads and a few swinging tunes. It actually was very cool. So there's tracks from that. There's tracks from 15 Big Ones, which was the album previous to the Beach Boys Love You that started the Brian Is Back campaign. And also a bunch of bonus tracks. There, demos and outtakes of certain songs, much of which was previously unreleased. So it's very, very cool. And I really have to thank Universal Music for doing this, because this wasn't their most popular period, not by a long stretch. But it's great that they've really devoted a lot to the Beach Boys 1970s period. And we're very grateful. Anyway, so the event featured people who worked on this release, as well as some of the engineers that worked on the 70s albums. So we had Earl Mankey, for example, who was a member of Sparks for a while, right, yeah. And also, but better known as a producer and engineer. And he was one of the engineers on Love You, and I think also the Adult Child sessions. I could be wrong. And beyond that, Mike Love appeared, and he gave a 10-minute talk about that period, the Beach Boys Love You, Adult Child, what they were going through at the time, what Brian Wilson was going through, and it was very touching, actually. And I know a lot of people don't like Mike Love, and I totally get that. But there's another side to him as well. And now that he's 84, I think also he's mellowing quite a bit. So that was a real treat. But anyway, so we have the producers and overseers of this box set as our guests on Material Issues, Mr. Howie Edelson and Mr. James Size, coming up on next week on Material Issues. And boy, do I have a lot of questions for them. A lot of it has to do with songs they chose, songs they left off, songs that they didn't leave off. That let's put it this way: in this politically correct age, one of the tracks they could have used was left off. Another one, and only because when Universal put out the Sometime in New York City album box set by John Lennon, they did leave a particular track from that album completely off the box. So I wondered if maybe they were going to do it with a track I'm thinking of, but they didn't. So I have questions about that, and all kinds of things. It's going to be fun. And this by the way, this box set just came out, but you can't get it in stores or on Amazon or any of those. You have to go right to the Beach Boys website. And they only printed up a very limited number of copies. They didn't think it would sell, but it sold out really quickly. Wow! And so they've printed up more, and I think they'll probably print up as many as necessary. But if you don't want to snooze on this. If this is a period that you really liked, I would suggest going to the Beach Boys website, getting it now, before it does sell out again, and maybe they just say, well, that's it. Whoever snoozed lost. So anyway, Howie Edelson and James Size, the producers, overseers of We Gotta Groove, the Brothers Studio Years.
What's it going for on the website? Do you know?
I don't know. I was fortunate enough to get a promotional copy because I'm writing a review of it. But so I don't know. I imagine over 100.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see if there's the Beach Boys. We've got a groove. Doesn't really say the cost here, but I didn't go right to the website. But Beach Boys official store. What's it? I don't even see it here yet.
This is, by the way, this is a CD and LP box.
Okay, 120, $125 for the CD and LP box.
It's not too bad. There will be a CD standalone version, but coming out in Japan only at this point.
Oh, okay.
So you'll have, if you buy that, you're gonna have to pay extra for shipping probably, and who knows what that'll go for. I'll probably get that too because I'm crazy, crazy collector. One of those people Beverly was talking about.
Yeah.
And all right, so yeah, that should be a lot of fun next week. And the following week, we've mentioned this one a few times, but our guest is, as I like to say, the David Cassidy of the next generation, a total heartthrob. If 16 magazine was still around, he would definitely be on the cover of it many times. And he was on 3 major labels, and one with his band Candy, who released an album called Whatever Happened to Fun on Mercury Records. He was on MCA, recorded a whole bunch of stuff that sadly has not come out, but hopefully one day it will. And then on Hollywood Records, which was a major in the late 90s, where he released a few albums and had an almost hot 100 hit. It was Wake Me Up When the World Is Waking Up For. People told me they did hear it in supermarkets quite a bit, if not on the radio. But hey, if I heard a song of mine playing when I was in Gelson's or Ralph's, I'd be thrilled. Anyway, since then, he's recorded several albums, still recording, still going strong. Mr. Kyle Vincent will be our guest on March 1st on Material Issues. And the other thing that we have now, after 2 failed attempts, we finally did a pre-record with Ronnie D'Addario, the dad of the Lemon Twigs, and a great singer-songwriter in his own right. We recorded that one, and we'll announce when it's going to air. So for those of you who've been frustrated by our failed attempts, never fear. You're going to get your wishes.
It's coming. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun interview.
Yeah, it was a great interview. It went a long time.
Yeah.
Because he's had quite the career. Yeah. And so that's what we have going. We've got other irons in the fire. We'll certainly we'll certainly make things happen. We'll reserve a date for when I can play some of the 2026 releases that have come out, and there's been a lot of great stuff so far. So we'll definitely devote a show to that. Probably sometime in March, I imagine.
Yeah. So we always got stuff going on, and stick by materialissues.com or join the Facebook group, and you'll be notified on Friday. David sends a little message out saying what we got going on Sunday, and we hope people keep sharing and tell people about it, and we'll keep doing it as long as we're enjoying it and people are digging it. We're going to archive this stuff.
You betcha.
It's great. We love it. 243 episodes under our belt. Wow.
I thought this was 244. No, or is this
243?
Oh, 243. Okay.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
At this point, who knows? 240. I mean, that number. I'm a numbers guy as far as just time and numbers, and I always think about stuff. It's hard to wrap my head around the fact that we've done 243 episodes. You look at successful TV series, and they're like, well, we did 180 episodes, over 10 years or whatever. And it was great. I'm thinking 180, damn, we've done 243 episodes. And that's a big number.
Well, fortunately, we're not under the constraint of having to produce numbers, if you know what I mean. Exactly. So, as long as the internet exists and we're both healthy, we can keep doing this as long as we want. Yeah, right. And we're coming up to my favorite number, actually, 252. I don't know why. I love the symmetry of it. I love that it goes into 7 for whatever reason. What is it? 36 times 7. So it's 6 squared times 7. For whatever reason, I love that number. So we'll be up. I don't know who our guest will be, but we'll get there.
We'll have a mathematician on the show to talk about.
There you go. We'll get Stephen Hawking's ghost to be on the show.
Well, David, again, we started the show off with best wishes for you and your family.
Thank you.
I know this is a challenging week coming up with everything, and but just know that everybody is thinking about you and your family.
Thank you very much. I posted a tribute to my dad on Facebook this morning, and I've received lots of wonderful comments from people. So if you made a comment, I really want to thank you very much.
Well, hang in there with your family, and I know Rena will help and take care of you especially. So
she will. I mean, it hasn't entirely hit me yet. I don't know what kind of. Thank you, Tim. I don't know what kind of weird feelings are going to emerge and when. I mean, one of the tougher things is sometimes they emerge without notice, and sometimes at inappropriate times. And you don't want it to be at an inappropriate time because it could cause you to say something you'll regret to somebody. And so I really hope I kind of hope I'm alone when if and when that happens, so that I can deal with it on my own and get through it. But I'm as prepared as I can be for that kind of thing. So we'll just keep going on with my life. I had no thoughts about canceling material issues today. I know my dad. One of the things my dad always wanted for me is to be productive, and even when my mom passed. My dad didn't, he took a few days off of work, but he got back pretty quickly. I mean, he just lost his wife, and he got back to work fairly quickly because he didn't want to sit there and wallow in it. He wanted to get back to living.
Sure. Yeah. That's that's just the thing. The people who pass are not bothered by their passing. It's only the people who,
as far as we know, yeah.
As far as we know, but it's only us that have to keep going on, and that's exactly what we all do. We keep going on because all of us only have a limited time on this darn merry-go-round. And the best tribute to your dad, to my mom, to everyone, is to live your life as well as they would hope you would. And
I mean, everyone handles things differently. Some people will just. They'll grieve for the next 3 or 4 weeks or more, but I'm just not that type. And I know my dad would never want me to do that. He'd be the first to tell me, get your ass out of bed. Well, he wouldn't use those words exactly, but he'd say, get out of bed and, be productive. That's exactly how he would have said it. So
perfect. All right, my friend. Well, what a great show. That was a lot of fun. And we'll see everybody next Sunday for a lot of Beach Boys stuff going on here.
Howie Edelson and James Size, producers, overseers of the new Beach Boys box set. We Got a Groove, the Brother Records years. It's really a great set. So if you love that period, again, I would suggest you buy it before it sells out again. And at that point they say, we're not doing anymore. So.
All right. Well, happy Valentine's weekend, everybody. Happy Valentine's to you and your Valentine. Love to
Thank you. Love to Ches and Audie. You're 2 Valentines for the day.
Yeah. And we'll see everybody next Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, right here on Material Issues.
You bet. Everyone stay safe. Be well, and give a hug and kiss to your loved ones because you never know.